Let's blow up this channel with a like and subscribe.
Just violently attacked.
By who?
By her. We were just arguing. She used offensive and violent language that violated my rights as an individual.
You alright, love? Keep going. Go. We've shot 3 of them this morning. They're everywhere today.
Okay, I'm going to start off with, I feel like this skit is something that everybody's thought about that has sanity.
And this is, I mean, this is the UK, right? For sure.
It sounds like Australia to me, but
there's just some things you don't want coming your way. And
Right.
that kind of, offensive language, bodily harm.
right.
But that's,
Let's make it short. Oh, her language is offensive, so don't listen to it. It's simple. Just like, some people might find my shirt offensive because it has a picture of a assault rifle. It's not an assault rifle.
no, it's offensive because it's in poor taste.
Oh, okay. No, you're welcome. All right, on to the next one. Let's get to it.
Harris did not win. Trump. So I'm
Take a breath.
yeah.
Cheers.
So
Take a breath.
today
Somebody in the
may
in the
look a
background
little
said take a
different at school. We currently are
You can tell
in a country
she's
where
in
we get to
shock.
choose, right?
Yeah, you can tell.
And
that
people have
everything
different
was hanging on
priorities.
that.
They have different values. Some people hear what he has to say and they don't believe him, and some people hear what he has to say and they believe him and they agree with him. I'm very sad.
And now you cry.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you and your mother and your sister. I'm just done with all of this. What the fuck? Bitch! You What the hell?
I'm scared to go to sleep. I might wake up a motherfucking slave.
Man, I thought the crash outs we reviewed.
I'm
in our
sorry.
other videos were
No, 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 no. Why?
You're so uneducated. Oh my god. Like, I went to college for 2 years.
Okay, so this is difficult, but the crash outs, I'm going to say this. If you're in the field of, being a therapist and talking to these unfortunate people, does it occur to you that you see them and you go, I'm going to make an obscene amount of money off of this person?
Yeah, they're like, I'm making bank.
They're going
That's
to
what
be
they're
like,
doing.
They're like a mechanic who sees a total mechanic special car and they're like, we're going to get rich off of this car.
Yeah, they're seeing the dollar signs. They're making it rain.
Right.
They're just
So,
like, come on in.
With that quick analysis, I think that some of these psychiatrists or, therapists, whatever you want to call them, are going to go, oh yeah, we can help you. And they're going to nurture some of your bad ideas just to keep you there.
What did you do when Biden won?
I don't even remember, but it wasn't a meltdown.
Yeah.
I was
went on, right?
I was probably like 2 seconds. I was like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
That's probably all it was.
Like you can tell these guys.
But then the gaps started happening. I'm at least they get comedy out of it.
Yeah. Like this is like these guys, they just live it.
So apparently no matter who wins the presidency, I'm going to have something to laugh at. That makes me happy. All right, let's get our next one.
For gender studies. I am educated. I am smarter than everyone. And I am the bestest.
So that's clearly AI from my perspective. It sounds like AI, looks like AI. But in either case, I love how the left continuously mistakes education for intelligence.
Yeah, it's just grandstanding.
Because you realize it's just like the therapist, you go to these colleges and they just suck you dry for money, which is why they need the student loan forgiveness. And of course, they're going to be like, you went to college for underwater basket weaving and binary sports, whatever the case may be. And you're like, I'm educated. Are you? Are you?
I mean, clearly not enough education went into doing the math for the loans.
Right.
You know, but
Joke's on you.
Yeah,
Joke's on you.
Don't get me started on the student loan thing. But.
All right. Let's see what this one is.
Is it the Lorax?
You said the Lorax. I say the
Is it
Librax.
the
It's the Librax.
The Librax, yeah.
Give me that.
Oh my gosh. You're going to love this.
The beat, that toot, running our hands through my fro, bouncing on 24. Why they stand on is the remix to Mission Hot and Fresh.
You know what? There are fun people in the world.
That was fun. No, I
You know what I
think
mean?
that was hilarious. And she had to know she was going to fall.
Yeah, like
That was totally for views, and I applaud this woman.
yeah, well done. Well done.
Because if you can make fun of yourself and still be sane, you are one of us.
yes.
We applaud you. All right, let's keep rolling. Oh, shit. Insert call music here. Oh, speaking of music, while this is playing and there's no sound, I found out that the animals, there is no, the New Orleans one. Brain fart, guys. You can.
He's so divided, right? They're saying
But House of the Rising Sun. Now I remember what it is. That song actually doesn't have rights, so anybody can make that song because nobody knows who originally wrote it, so nobody owns the rights to it.
Really?
Really, I found that out yesterday.
Huh.
I was yesterday years old.
That's interesting.
Yeah, thought that was interesting. This is our next one. You're gonna love this one.
we should separate liberals from one country, conservatives another country. And when I heard that, I was like, oh no, we can't do that. If America ever goes to war, I want conservatives defending us. Right? Those guys that stormed the Capitol, that's who I want fighting for this country. Have you seen their photos? They'd be on the battlefield with their horns and their fur. They'll be like, America! America! Can you imagine liberal snowflakes at war? Oh, they'd be on the battlefield being like, oh my God, this is not a safe space. Why are there so many triggers? And the general will be like, shoot him. Are you sure that is the right pronoun? Gen Z liberals will be even worse. The general will be like, attack. They'll be like, I don't chase, I attract.
I have to admit, I tend to hate it when politics and comedy mix.
That was pretty good,
right?
though.
But that one, I mean, she's not wrong. That's the gag, right?
So I have a request for anybody who watches this channel, and I challenge them to go out and find a YouTuber that's a liberal, that spews liberal politics, that has guns on their background, because I haven't seen one. So prove me wrong, and if you can't, give us a like, a subscribe, and a thumbs up. All right, let's move.
Protesting.
But to be fair, you and I both know how that goes. We've both been in a field of work where we've had to deal with those people. So we have had some really strange experiences that reach hilarious level 10.
Yeah, hilarity is 10, but at the same time, there's a bit of sadness because you know it's going to take all day.
They're also suffering real life consequences at the expense of themselves. But you're just sitting back doing your job and you're laughing at it because it's not that you don't like the person. It's just that they're doing things you can't help but laugh at. You know, okay, I'm going to cut into one of these that one of my coworkers, I was dealing with a person, and the other coworker that offended this person didn't know anything. They were just there as a witness. And I was dealing with this person, and she was like, and this biatch. And I was like, what? She just had perceived that this other person was making fun of her, and they weren't even talking about her. And it was just really funny because you get to see, like, I get it's a tense situation, but it's too funny. It's very funny. Okay.
And avoidable.
Very avoidable. Ladies and gentlemen, stealing is not good. And you're probably not good at it. Not as good as you think you are.
We're here supporting compassionate democracy.
Didn't we just have wasn't the election yesterday?
Well, we still have a president who's sort of against democracy.
Sort of.
Didn't Magdami win? Zorag won, right?
He's not the president of the United States.
So what do you guys want to happen?
I would like Congress to bring Trump in.
So you guys didn't vote for Trump then?
No, I think he gets right.
Oh. What?
Okay, so I want to point out to everybody in the audience, I know you guys are smart, and you're watching this channel, so you already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. We don't live in a democracy. James, what do we live in?
A constitutional republic.
Oh, really?
Or
somebody's going to argue with you on that. How do you know it's a constitutional republic? Is there anything that maybe as a child you had to recite over and over and over and over and over to tell you it's a republic?
I believe it was the preamble.
The Pledge of Allegiance. And to the republic for which it stands.
Well, yeah.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Which
it's okay. I mean, we're an empire now. It's all cool.
Well, yeah.
We're in that. We can do what we want.
Well, it's turning into, we might as well do what we want because the left is definitely going to do what they want, and everybody's like, oh, they stand for democracy and freedom and all that crap. Now they make up their own justice system, it's very clear. All right, let's keep going.
Yeah, it's hard to fight for democracy when you can't define it the way that they want to define it.
Well, absolutely. But the funny thing is we're not actually a democracy. But you'll constantly listen to these politicians who are on Capitol Hill passing laws. They don't even know we're a republic.
Yeah.
That should scare you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get to our next one.
What are you guys protesting?
He was caught with a search history of when Congress member Jayapal went through the unredacted Trump files at the DOJ. It's not hard to believe that there were others being tracked too. So did the DOJ have a warrant to track their search? Were they told they were being tracked? If not, that's called spying, and at the very least incompetent for being caught with that search history. The maggots can't even fuck up correctly. The Justice Department has not yet explained how the list was even created. Jamie Raskin is calling for an investigation, but do we need an investigation to see what is happening here? We see the document. What is the DOJ afraid of? Why are they tracking them? Bondi abused her power in the DOJ. Pam Bondi has the search history of a member of the opposition party because the DOJ has been weaponized to protect the pedo felon Trump. Come on, why are we playing this game?
Okay.
I am not okay.
Well, there's so much to break down in that clip.
So the easy one, right, just right off the bat, is the assertion that Trump is a pedo. Okay.
Yeah, there's no evidence.
There's no evidence that's supporting this. And what's interesting is if you know me, I fully support the Epstein files being released. I want justice for the victims. Like, go get the bad guys, right? This gentleman is now all of a sudden claiming that this is a cover-up and abuse of power when previously, who was president of the United States?
I was just going to bring that up. For 4 years, Joe Biden had all of this information with his administration and nothing was done. Doesn't that seem a little convenient, James?
Yeah, and
almost like they didn't want to out their friends.
Yeah.
Which it actually is surprising that the Democrats highly outnumber Republicans in said documents.
And let's be clear, if Donald Trump had done something that was in the Epstein files, that was a crime, this would have been out.
The administration would have gone
years
after
ago
him immediately.
Yeah.
He would have never been reelected. But they just want to throw his name and associate it with Epstein. It's the smear campaign that the Democrats use constantly. So if you're an idiot, you'll fall for it, sure. And I love how he used the term maggots, which is great. That he used all the liberal buzzwords, pedophile, maggots, which is actually funny because I realized that the Democrats actually just made another great slogan for Donald Trump, because it's "Make America Great Again, Trump." They did it. They
did it for him.
You know, and like, oh, you're trying to offend us.
Yeah, and then, okay, I mean, let's talk about the search history. This during the Biden administration, they also were doing this.
Oh,
to those Republicans,
right,
to the point.
Right. I love how he's like,
Nunez.
We
was
call
that his
it
name?
Spying. No, it's called surveillance. Okay, and you don't know if they have a warrant because you don't work for the Justice Department. But let's go ahead and go back, rewind to the Hillary Clinton days when she came up with the Steele dossier, and they used illegal Steele dossier papers to get a FISA warrant to spy on their opposition. Well, I don't hear you talking about that.
Yeah, the Steele dossier was completely made up.
We knew it was fraudulent.
And we know that, I hate to do this, but we know that they knew
back then
that it was fake.
Yeah.
And still ran with it.
It never passed the sniff test, but for some reason you couldn't get any judiciary to look at it because they were afraid. They were afraid of the troll Hillary Clinton.
It's interesting how the reversal when it comes to these actions, depending on who your administration is. Basically, it was totally okay to do this to Republicans.
Well, absolutely. But I've noticed with the Epstein files that the liberals will not bring up Bill Clinton. And he's named more than anybody in the files.
Oh, is he?
He absolutely is. He's named more than any other individual in the files.
Well, I'm just glad that...
like we said, being named doesn't make you guilty, but his name is actually associated with going to the island,
hanging out
and doing things and getting massages. We already know that we have more reason to believe he did something illegal versus Trump. But you guys don't like Trump, so it's, liberal buzzword. Red hats, maggots, pedophile, felon.
And to be fair, like you said, just because somebody's been named in the file does not mean they committed a crime.
Doesn't mean they committed a crime. It's just but everybody likes to jump to, they were in the Epstein files.
What's interesting is that
I'm sure that Domino's Pizza got called by Epstein once or twice, so we better tell them. Domino's is in the Epstein files. Oh my God.
What's interesting is after the conviction, how people after the conviction were still hanging out with him.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there's a question of poor choices there, right? Because especially in politics, with guilt by association.
Well, absolutely.
And just PR.
Like, he'd already been arrested for, in what was it, 2005, something like that.
Yeah, his first arrest was...
did you think he got rehabilitated on house arrest? I mean, give me a break.
Well, he was never rehabilitated in that sweetheart deal.
Right, but my whole point is, this is the thing that Democrats do. They're like, well, that doesn't have to do with now. Actually, it absolutely has to do with now.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Because, okay, in any job that you've had, that you've taken over, the person that you take over for, your predecessor,
right.
Let's say they screw everything up. Right. Okay, well, who owns it now?
Right. You have to.
Like, I've never
through their mess.
Yeah, I've never heard of a situation where you could really seriously sit there and go, well, this last person did it. Well, great, that guy's been gone for 2 months.
Right.
Or this guy, that administration's been gone for a year.
Right. Well, back to the point. Epstein's a bad guy. We think that all the people involved that actually did stuff that could be criminal should be investigated. If it's within the statute of limitations, we don't need to be, witch hunters and go out and try and change laws to get people. The whole gotcha thing is a joke.
Yeah, well, it's two things, right? There's elements to you have to gather your elements to prosecute a crime.
Right. You have to have the evidence.
You have to have your evidence, right? So and then the other thing is that it's the social. This is actually the social justice aspect. Is that people were still hanging around with a convicted pedophile, having lunch, hanging out, bringing their families.
Do you think that it might be that they already knew that he was engaging in that and already were accepting of it before he was convicted?
I think that no, I don't think it. You cannot put too much on people's ignorance on something.
Right.
Right.
I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying you don't think that the people that continued to hang out with him were like, oh, I already knew that, so it's not big news to me.
Yeah. It depends on who, because
right.
the frame.
Well, I'm talking the inner circle.
Yeah, the inner circle doesn't care.
Right. All right. Well, let's watch this next one and move on, and we'll go from there.
I don't even think he cared because he thought for a little bit he thought he was going to get another sweetheart deal, and then when he saw it wasn't coming,
right,
this time around.
Let's go ahead and keep going.
Since the SAVE Act is rearing its ugly, stupid, redundant head again, I thought I would show you a breakdown of all 50 states. And how you have to prove that you live here and that you are a U.S. citizen when you register to vote. The only state where you don't register to vote is North Dakota because they require you to show ID every time you vote. The SAVE Act is redundant because we all already verify that we are American citizens when we register to vote. And I understand that this information is hard to find all in one place in a list, which is why I took screenshots for every single of the 50 fucking states so that you can shut the fuck up. Okay, let's get into it. Alabama, paper form. See right there, driver's license, 4 digits of your social security. Alabama, online. Driver's license. Alaska, register online. Driver's license or state ID. Alaska, paper form. Social security number or driver's license. Arizona, last 4 of your social security number and your driver's license. Arkansas, very tiny, but up there in section 9, it's asking for your driver's license or your social security number. California, online, driver's license or social security number. Connecticut, driver's license or state ID. Colorado, state ID, social security number. Delaware, social security number and driver's license. The District of Columbia,
get rid of the
ID or social security number. Florida, ID, social security number. Georgia, ID. Hawaii, driver's license and social security number. And on paper, Idaho, driver's license. Idaho paper form, driver's license and social security number. Illinois, driver's license, social security number. Have we caught the vibe yet? Indiana, valid ID and social security number. Iowa, valid driver's license. Iowa paper application, driver's license and social security number. Kansas, driver's license. Kentucky, social security number. Louisiana, real ID. Louisiana paper registration, ID and social security number. Maine, driver's license. And if you hit no, it asks you for your social security number. Maryland, driver's license, date of birth and social security number. Massachusetts, ID. Massachusetts paper form, ID number and social security number. Michigan, driver's license and social security number. Minnesota, driver's license and social security number. Minnesota paper form, also driver's license, social security number. Mississippi doesn't do registration online. When you fill out the paper form, it asks for your driver's license and your social security.
Fairly soon. So there it is.
Just violently.
Okay, so with ending on that clip, I want to point out the California one, driver's license. They issue driver's license to illegal aliens. So that right there tells you if they just require a driver's license, who could be voting? Illegal aliens.
Yeah.
In Alabama, they just revoked 3,000 voter registrations due to them being illegal aliens. It happens. And everybody that's like, well, this is redundant. Then why do you care if they do it?
Well,
it's Democrats are afraid that their voter base is being deported because they are. They always say, oh, well, it's like saying ICE is at a voting area or whatever. Why do you care if you're an American citizen? Why do you care?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, if you are a voter and ICE shows up, you're not going to care because you haven't done anything.
You're not doing anything. You're not illegal. And don't give me this. They're kidnapping American citizens. First off, y'all fucking fell for the kidnapping crap out of the mouth of the media. Kidnapping is not being arrested. They arrest people and detain them to ascertain whether or not they're actually legal, which most of the time they are not. And if they are legal, do you know what they do? They release them.
The kidnapping thing was set up by people to put law enforcement agencies against other law enforcement agencies.
Go look up.
You're going to investigate a kidnapping.
Yeah, go look up the definition of kidnapping. The fact that the media said that, they should be ashamed of themselves.
Yeah, that was actually
that's a manipulation of word, which also the Democrats are really good at. They'll change the meaning of words to get the emotional response they're looking for. So beware.
Or be square.
Or be square. Or blue velvet, whatever.
Blue velvet.
But we just want to point out, use common sense. Obviously, this lady went and did her due diligence. Yeah, it says they require IDs. But who can ascertain an ID in each state? We already know that they've been stopping CDL drivers that aren't qualified. They can't even read English.
And they can't drive.
But the point is,
no, there's been accidents.
I know. There's been lots of accidents.
There's been a couple of deaths.
We'll have to do an episode on the drivers of, semi trucks that aren't licensed. They're licensed, but they don't technically qualify. But good old California, just slaps that stamp of approval on, and we're going to go, yeah, you can drive this thing. Shh, you barely swam into the country? Give him a CDL. Let's start having him truck out some, truckloads of guns to the Mexican cartels.
It's amazing when you think about this, because we're starting to see more issues with voting, especially after 2020. We're going to head into the midterms, and then of course the big 2028 election.
I'm interested to see how the midterms pan out with the SAFE Act moving along, and the fact that so many deportations are actively taking place, even counting self-deportations.
Yeah, these midterms are probably going to be the most interesting midterms that we've seen in a long time.
I think you're going to have a larger turnout for Republicans than you thought, because we got the House, the Senate, and the presidency back, and with the way the liberals treated the last 4 years, we don't plan on giving it up anytime soon.
I as the he's a designated liberal in the group, I'm going to have to take the opposite position. Historically, this fallout flips. It'll be interesting for sure.
He's just mad because he didn't get his way on the Epstein files.
But no, I think
James says, well, they didn't do what I want. So he really is the liberal of the group, because he lets his emotions get the better of him.
You know what? Okay. You know what? I'll let the emotions out. You spent 4 years talking about releasing the Epstein files when you ran. You spent 4 years.
What do you want?
By an act of Congress.
Hey, you know what?
Congress had to make a law making this happen. This is the first time, just in my memory, where 100 senators voted to get this done. Now, the goal is to get Trump, of course.
Right.
But here's the thing. You got people making money off of podcasts for 4 years.
I agree with that. They're definitely
ripping you.
I want to point out, you didn't have any problem when Biden was president. You were like, why wasn't he releasing the files? Essentially, you're giving him a pass.
No, never.
I never once heard you say anything about, you're upset with Biden because he didn't release the files. Never once have I heard that.
Well, that would make the statement that I believe that Jeffrey Epstein shouldn't have been prosecuted for a crime or a crime where that justice hadn't been.
Well, that has nothing to do with that. I'm talking about, why didn't Joe Biden? You didn't go, well, why didn't Joe Biden release them?
Well,
you did, but not in the 4 years that leading up to where they were.
Well, at the time, I didn't know we had 6 million files on this guy.
Well, how did you not?
I didn't know.
Yeah. I'll give you a pass on that one, James.
I'll
give you a pass on that.
Yeah, give me a pass on that one, because
I will. I
will
extend my olive branch to you.
And I'll take the
We can agree to disagree. Him and I fight over the Epstein files all the time. He cares about them a lot more than I do. People got hurt. That's what's important. We need to not make these victims suffer any more than they have. And we already know that the people that are in them are not going to face any kind of justice, because both Republicans and the Democrats want to shield their buddies, and the Republicans are too freaking big of cowards to actually go after somebody. All they do is investigate. They're a bunch of time wasters.
Yeah, and my issue here too is with Epstein, we need to know how deep this went. Again, justice for the victims. The other thing too that you're noticing in these files is that you're seeing how power plays out.
Absolutely.
And everybody, left, right,
what's the old
gingerbread men, we need to be able to look at that and scrutinize it.
Well, what's that old saying? Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Absolutely. And it doesn't, I don't care if you're Donald Trump or Joe Biden.
See, we want to point out that he and I have different views from time to time, but we're not trying to strangle each other. No. We have civil disagreement, and that's okay. We need to get back to this.
Yeah, you need to have the conversation. And here's okay, because I'm the designated liberal, right? So
are you my token liberal?
I'm your token liberal.
I love it.
The biggest problem on the left, and you guys, we all need to own this. Okay, you can't sweep people under the rug under cancel culture and trying to hold them accountable for your standards when you're pulling this crap, or should be doing it at all. You should be able to have the conversation. You should be able to argue it out. And if your argument is sound, it will come out.
Just like the beginning clip.
Yeah, just if you look at these clips, these guys are ridiculous.
We're trying to point out how dumb it is that they don't have a valid argument and they're not going about the discussion in the right way. Obviously, in this first clip that it's kind of paused on now, the lady's like, they said offensive language and they need to be punished. That's not how it works.
Yeah,
you can say, hey, that offended me, but the other person can say, good, I don't care. But you got to learn how to, lick your wounds and move on.
Yeah, you're choosing to be offended. You're choosing to be offended. Like, why on earth would you do that? And the other thing about, because I'm ranting about Democrats right now, you guys need to get over this because you guys had Joe Biden. He told you he was a transition president. Then he backed out and didn't transition and gave you Kamala Harris. And then she had to run a 109-day campaign. The reason why Trump is back in office is because you sucked, your strategy sucked, and you failed.
You didn't listen to the people. You listened to your far left ideology.
Yeah.
You lead with the people, not the ideology.
Because here's the thing: if your actions, if your administration was so great, then they would have all been there for another round.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Where are those 20 million voters that up and evaporated?
And this is what's so amazing because right now they're doing this with Trump and MAGA. Republicans, you need to understand this too. It's a rant. Put a rant up there. I'm doing it.
I'll do a little explosion before this segment.
Republicans and MAGA are two different animals.
Absolutely.
Okay? They vote for the same people, but they're two different animals. And the one thing that MAGA and true conservative understand, the Republican Party and the Republican platform hates your guts, but they need your vote.
They think you're an idiot.
And then they start doing garbage like this. And mark my words, okay? If you're someone who's pro-life, that matters to you. That's your battlefield. Watch what happens in these midterms and in the presidential election when these new candidates start waffling on the pro-life discussion, and it'll set you guys back again to the same conversation where you can't even have the conversation and you can't even define your candidates or your platform. And then you'll start just sitting there going to your old strategy of, well, look what they're doing.
Yeah, it's always the blame game.
It's always the blame game and it's like, go get a quality candidate.
Right. They have a new guy that's in Britain that's starting a new party, and I thought that was pretty interesting. We'll have to talk about that on another show. But we thank you guys for tuning in, and that'll be it for us. So we hope you guys have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.
Stay safe out there.